Good morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you all. Oh my goodness, as usual, there's a ton of stuff to cover. Let's jump in, let's get there, let's go. We're going to start off with Camilla this morning. She has a yearly event that she does, and it's supported by two of her charities. One is called the Helen and Douglas House, and the other is the Roald Dahl's Marvelous Children's Charity. Now, she holds this reception every year at Christmas for seriously ill children. According to the article, they get treated like royalty for the day. They help, decorate the Christmas tree in the library, and then they go in for this fabulous banquet. So she came down the stairs. She met, I guess they call him Father Christmas in the UK. Here he's Santa Claus. And her equerry, who's named, by the way, Major Ollie Plunkett, she had each of the children pick up a decoration, and he has to put it on the tree with his sword. So, no pressure there. FYI, these may not be in the correct order in which they occurred, but at some point during the day, she took these kids outside and they had reindeer. Where in the heck do you find live reindeer? Like they're alive reindeer, real reindeer. So these kids went out. I can't even imagine. But she stroked them, and the kids stroked them, and they fed them, and I just think it was fabulous. Okay, so then they went back inside, and this one little girl named Dottie gave Camilla a handmade Christmas card. How wonderful is that? The children, again, I'm not sure what order this all happened in, but anyway, the children were in a room. They were allowed to chat with Camilla. She went around greeting the children. And then at some point, she took them into a dining room area. And they had, this is the kind of food they had: Santa-shaped biscuits, fairy cakes with elves' feet sticking out of them, bowls of sweets, not the kind of food that you actually usually see at Claret's house, but they also had something called bangers. I have no clue what that is. Mash, absolutely no clue what that is either. Okay, whatever it is, I'm sure it was delicious. Anyway, it looks like everybody had an absolutely fabulous time, and I think this is one of those charities that's just wonderful, great for the children. Moving on. In the afternoon, Camilla went to a home that is run by a group called the Ashiana Network. They run women's refugees, several of them apparently, that are based in London, and they support South Asian, Middle Eastern, and Turkish women who have been abused domestically, every other way you can imagine, forced marriage, honor-based violence, financial abuse, and coercive control. Now, Camilla got there, and one of the women she met was in her early 20s. Obviously, because of what happened to her, they wouldn't identify her. And she was talking to Queen Camilla and explaining what happened to her, and she began to cry, and Camilla reached right out to her. That doesn't surprise me either. This particular engagement was not, they usually put out statements telling you where they're going, what they're doing. This one was not published in advance. There was minimum security, and the team knocked very carefully. There was a guarded door, and the woman that she met there has been the director of this group for 27 years. I just think that's amazing, and good for Camilla. I really like her. All right, moving on. We're going to talk now about the Duke of Gloucester, who visited HMP Preston. Then he went to Warden Park, and then he presented the King's Award. One to Chemical Processing Limited of Wrightington and Garradry of Ormskirk, two of Lancaster's 2023 winners. Wonderful. Congratulations. Moving on now to Princess Beatrice and her fabulous husband, Eduardo Mapelli Mosey. I don't think I'm saying that right. I keep trying, though. They went and attended the premiere screening of James Blunt, One Brit Wonder, at the Picture House Central, and this took place on December the 6th. And as you can see, they were joined by James Blunt and his wife, Sophia. Fabulous. And a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for all the information on what Beatrice was wearing. Princess Anne now, we're moving on. She is the patron of UK coaching, and she sent out a special message in their brochure. She stated, and I'm quoting, "To our finalists, the catalyst of change and champions of excellence, the very best of luck." Very nice. Sticking with Princess Anne, she went to a carol service that was at the All Hallows by the Tower in London on Sunday. And during this, she got up. This is a carol service for seafarers. It's a charity that helps and supports, crewmen and women who face dangers while working at sea. So anyway, she gets up and she was wearing her mother's admiral's cloak. It's a black cape that she's worn multiple times in 70 years. And now Anne was wearing it. I think that's lovely. All right, moving on. Next up, I'm going back to the palace when, the king had that state dinner, and they're talking about what went on at the state dinner. Apparently, besides the huge, seasonal flowers, apparently one of the desserts was a sugared hibiscus flower that was placed on top of pudding. I wouldn't want to eat that because to me, it's like a work of art. Like, I wouldn't want to eat it, seriously. But some of the things on the table were really cool. For instance, what you're looking at now is the thing that holds the salt. And then I guess there's a little spoon in there to shake the salt out on your table. This next picture is a candelabra that's shaped like an apple tree. And there's a serpent from the Garden of Eden wrapped around the trunk. How cool. These are the items that make the state dinners so fabulous. All right, let's move on now. All right, here we go. It's going to be the third time that we've had the Christmas carol service at Westminster Abbey. I am so excited. First one was in 2021, and then we have 2022. So this will be the third time. And the service is going to be linked to her Shaping Up campaign, Catherine's Shaping Up campaign. And the article says the service is going to showcase the hope of new life and why it's important to build nurturing words around children and the adults around them. Love it. The choir is going to be there. We know what happens. James Bay and Freya Ridings and lots of famous people. I'm looking forward to it. And I will cover it for you when it occurs. Moving on. I just want to throw this in here really quickly for those of you who don't know. It's being reported that Doria Raglan was never introduced to William and Catherine, even though she was in London multiple times, that Meghan absolutely put a separation between them because who knows what Doria might have spilled to the family. Same thing like with Thomas Markle. She didn't want him talking. I believe it. Moving on. We're going to move on now and discuss a little bit of what happened with Harry and his police protection at the coronation. Now, of course, we're not given privy to everything that happened, but apparently the lawyers for the prince are complaining that his police protection that he got, he was given a police team for events that he was officially invited to. He didn't feel that that was enough. And that's why right after the coronation, they're claiming he hopped on a plane and left before the day's events had even finished. Now, some more information has come out about what's being said behind closed doors. And one of the things that's being said is that Harry has been treated less favorably than quote unquote others in his security arrangements when he goes back to the UK. His attorney said that Ravik should have considered the impact that a successful attack on the claimant would have, bearing in mind his status, background, and profile within the royal family, which he was born into and which he will have for the rest of his life. And also his ongoing charity work. There is no ongoing charity work and service to the public. He doesn't have any service to the public. And then the attorney said, and they should consider in particular what would happen to the UK's reputation if a successful attack on the claimant occurred. Really? I completely agree with this Twitter user. The court was also told he quit the job, he left the country, but he still wants the perks. He has the security he needs based on intelligence and when he's in the UK for official engagements that have to do with the royal family. What he wants is security for his whole family at all times, every time he comes over, even if he's not dealing with his family. Even according to Taz pointed this out, he's the one who started the hate campaign against his family, accused them of all kinds of horrible things, revealed the layouts of their family residences, endangering their lives, but he's demanding taxpayer-funded security. A GB News reporter named Jack Carson apparently went around Birmingham and spoke to people and asked them what they thought. And a lot of people said, yeah, Harry can come back to the UK, but he's got to pay his own way for security. He's welcome back if he comes back. That there are other major things going on in the world that are more important than Harry and his security. I agree. Niall Gardner on GB News had something to say about this. My goodness, listen to this.
Harry should not be receiving British taxpayers' funding for security in the UK. He's not a working royal. He basically abandoned the royal family. He and Meghan Markle, of course, launched consistent attacks against the British royal family from their mansion in Montecito in California. I think it's absolutely outrageous, the idea that the British public should be subsidizing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for their protection in the UK. This is not the job of the British taxpayer to be subsidizing somebody who doesn't do any work whatsoever, as far as I can tell, for the royal family or for the British people. So absolutely not a penny.
It was brought up in court that Harry was no longer a working member of the royal family, that he would be living abroad for 95% of the time, that his position had changed, that he was warned before he left the family that he would be losing his security, and that in these circumstances, security would not be provided the same way it was before. But in particular and specific circumstances, he would be given security when in Great Britain. In other words, when he comes back for functions within the royal family, like the coronation. But his security is on a case-by-case basis, and it's unnecessary. They're saying that what they did with him was completely legal, okay? Ravik considers the threat that each individual faces, which is assessed by reference to the capability and intent of the people that are threatening them, okay? The vulnerability, etc., etc. I think Angela Levin said it perfectly. She put her finger right on it. What Harry wants is free protection from the UK 24/7 and wherever they are in the world, and they want one for each member of the family. They want the same protection that William and Catherine have. So when we're done with all of this, it's almost done, and then it's going to be decided. But what they really want, what Harry really wants, is IPP protection back, because he doesn't want to pay for his security anymore because it cost him millions. Well, here's my thing. If you're worth $40-50 million, which is what they're putting out to people, pay for your own security. You should know that as this case was winding down today, Harry read to the court a statement. Here it is. It says, "It is with great sadness to both of us that my wife and I felt forced to step back from this role and leave the country in 2020. The UK is my home. The UK is central to the heritage of my children and a place I want them to feel at home as much as where they live at the moment in the United States. That cannot happen if there is no possibility to keep them safe when they bear on U.S. soil. I cannot put my wife in danger like that, and given my experiences in life, I'm reluctant to unnecessarily put myself in harm's way too." So he again is claiming he was forced out of the family. They forced him out, and this is nothing more. Don't forget, you guys, this is simply an appeal to be able to ask again for coverage. He's not going to win. Even if the court lets him reapply, he's not going to win. It's done for him. That statement is gaslighting at its best, because let me remind you, when they put this statement out saying that they were going to carve out a new role within the institution and we're going to step back while supporting the Queen. This was put out before they discussed it with the family, because this is when they said they want the half in, half out, and the Queen said no. Remember, they were going to balance their time while honoring the Queen, the Commonwealth, and their patronages. So this is nothing but gaslighting, and never at any point in this statement did they say that they were forced out. They're claiming they were forced out because the family told them you can't be half in and half out. What it comes down to, in my opinion, is with or without the titles, Harry and Meghan don't hold the same weight without being attached to the royal family. That's basically what it comes down to. And I think that's why they named their daughter after the Queen. So no matter what, they would have some sort of attachment. And the puff pieces continue, because if you can believe this person, Scarlett O'Toole, whoever she is, oh my God, she's putting out that King Charles is still sending out a desperate plea. I wish to see my grandchildren. You must come to Sandringham for Christmas with the family. Blah, 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 blah. I guarantee you, with 100% accuracy, no invitation has been given. They will not be going to Sandringham. There's not even a chance of an invitation being given. I don't know. I would be ashamed as a reporter to put out this kind of crap. Like, seriously, get a grip on yourselves. And as far as Omid Scobie and his book Endgame goes, it's now come out that he did write a draft with the names of the royal racists after swearing on TV that he didn't. He has disappeared from view. He has run to California. He's no longer giving interviews of any kind. It's also come out now that his book sold less than 6,500 copies in Britain in its first 5 days and has now plunged to 215 on the Amazon bestseller list. The book has had horrible reviews. Even the New York Times, which is usually sympathetic, has absolutely slandered the book. And even with all of this crap going on with the Netherlands, it has not helped the sales of the book, which is why they're giving it away for free on Audible now to try to boost the numbers on it. And on the Amazon list in the US, it's 312th, below How to Catch a Dinosaur and The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I'm guessing he wants you to feel sorry for him. He's now posting on his Instagram, the one that he cleared out, because he's now comparing himself to Princess Diana. My God. And I think we've all seen the writing on the wall. His career is now over. Now, before we go, I want to remind you guys that my father's book, Never Pet a Porcupine, is still up for sale in Amazon. There's a link in the description box for that, and it's gotten multiple 5-star reviews. Also, and it's a good one for Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. Also, don't forget that I have a full line of products with my tagline, with my, Sue Smith symbol on it. We have aprons, shirts, coffee cups, mouse pads, books, t-shirts, and let's not forget there's cups with Finn's little face on them. So you can go shopping. If you know somebody who really loves my channel and would like to get that as a stocking stuffer, don't forget that you can shop there as well. Now, one more thing, I'm always telling you guys, hit the subscribe button. I'm not sure why, but half the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. Hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of every video I put up, you guys. You guys know what to do. Put those comments down, make them good. Hit the subscribe button. If you've already hit it, double check, make sure you are still subscribed. If you've donated through my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.